Peace, family. This is your girl, Queen of Pentacles 1111, and I am back with yet another pick a card reading. In today's session, we're diving deep into clearing blockages, whether they're emotional, mental, spiritual, or even external obstacles standing in your way. Together, let us uncover what is holding you back and learn how to move forward with clarity and ease. If you're interested, please keep watching. Peace, family. Okay, group one, we're going to be looking at aspects of your life that could be blocking you or holding you back from achieving the life that you desire. All right, so we have the tarot cards here. The first one we have is the Ace of Wands, and the affirmation says, I am inspired to follow my passion. We have the Chariot in reverse, and that affirmation says, I go forward with confidence. We have the King of Pentacles upright, and that affirmation says, I am sure of my place in the world. So right away, group one, I see that a lot of you are extremely creative. You are just creative beings. You are oozing with creativity. I feel like my group ones in their everyday life, they see things pretty black and white. I feel like you all are very sure of your talents. You are very sure of your gifts. You know that you can sing. You know that you are an excellent painter. You know that you are extremely gifted in creating content that will reach large audiences or vast audiences. You are very, very confident in your ability to create. You know deep down within, and others around you know as well, that if you were to take your passions seriously, you could create a wonderful career for yourself. You could turn it into a way to make an income, like a really good income too. You'd be extremely successful at it because you know deep down inside that there is an audience that would love to receive your work. However, that being said, there's a huge contradiction going on with my group ones within, like an internal struggle. I feel like a lot of my group ones, even though you are creative and pretty free flowing when it comes to your skills, I do believe that in real life, like in your everyday life, you're very confident, you're very self assured, you know who you are, what you believe in, what side your loyalties lie. Like you are very self assured in that way. And I do believe a lot of my group ones on the outside present as very confident people. I think you also present as very polished people. And I think those around you are very much aware of how talented you are in your everyday life. Only a small select group of people around you, perhaps your friends or your family members, are aware of how talented you are creatively. And it's for a reason. You've only let a few people in when it comes to your creation and your ability to create, because here comes the contradiction. Even though you're very confident in your abilities on the outside, on the inside, when it comes to your creativity, which is a part of you, it's almost like your child. It's like your labor of love here. It's a piece of you. You're very insecure about your gift, even though you know you are extremely talented. It could be a situation of you being an amazing painter and you know that you're a good painter because you've painted often. You probably even have a studio full of many pieces of work. You have family members around you who are taken aback. They're inspired by how talented you are. And they say to you, okay, well, you need to sell your paintings. You need to put it out there. And just something within you, it could be caused by many different reasons. Something within you will never own up to that and will never agree to it. It's like you'll come up with the idea that Yeah, my painting's okay, but I don't think it's art gallery worthy, or who's really going to buy my painting? I want to charge a certain amount for my painting. Who's really going to spend that much? Even though it is worth that much, if not more. So there's this lack of confidence with regards to your abilities that is actually holding you back. The crazy part about it is that you know that you can achieve greatness through this gift and this talent that you possess, but that little voice inside your head seems to be running your life, and you probably don't even know why you're thinking the things you do, but it's sort of a tug of war that's going on inside of you, an internal battle that's going on inside of you. You know how talented you are, you hear what other people are saying around you about your works, but for some reason you feel like you're not good enough. So we're going to look now at the oracle cards to see what it is you can do to kind of unblock those obstacles. You can kind of release or unblock that way of thinking. Okay, so we have the Wrecking Ball, which is a 46. We have At Your Service with the number 23. We have Individuality with the number 11, Environment with the number 44, Teaching and Learning with the number 57. Okay, right away, I'm going to go to the cards 11 and 44. When we see those types of numbers, the repeating numbers, for me, when I'm reading, that suggests to me divinity, and that also suggests to me manifestation. So group number 1, these oracle cards are just validating how talented, divinely talented you are in certain areas of your life, and you're being encouraged. I mean, we have the card here that says individuality. You're being encouraged to show how creative you are, how unique you are, how special you are. You present in your day-to-day life, like I said before, as a very confident person who is an individual and has your own mind, your own point of view, and is not easily led. But when it comes to the inside now, there's some turmoil, inner turmoil going on there, and the energies are asking you to find that balance between the way you present on the outside and who you are on the inside. They want you to make sure that you're finding that balance, unlock your full potential. I'm looking at the Wrecking Ball card here, which is a 46, and a 4 plus a 6 equals 10, and that equals a 1. So they're telling you that you need to do the inner work to break down the walls. You need to break down all of the insecurities, the low self-esteem, the inhibitions, the what ifs, the uncertainties that lie within you with regards to your abilities and your strengths. They're telling you that when you have the ability to do that and dissolve all of this negativity that is actually hindering you, the universe will kind of bend to your will, and it will be a new beginning, and it will be a fresh start for you with regards to your gift and your passions, and even how you view them. You will understand that there is an audience out there that is eager to receive your gifts, to receive your talents. They're just waiting. And when you finally lead the way and open up and say, okay, this is who I am, this is a part of me, this is exactly how I'm feeling, and I've translated those feelings onto the canvas or into song or into dance. Here it is, I'm sharing it with you. At that point, it will almost become like a magnet. The audience will come to you. You won't have to do much but be yourself. And I think that's the huge hindrance here, is that you're not actually being true to yourself by holding back that part of yourself that should be shared with the world. They're also saying that some of you need to change your environment. For example, some of you could be living with family members or with friends who are trying to discourage you from exhibiting your artwork or sharing your artwork with the world. They can be jealous. They could actually perhaps see your potential and they don't like it, so they're trying to kind of discourage you from your own greatness. Also, some of you can be just living in an area that is not inspiring to you. If you're an artist and you need to be surrounded by beautiful things, perhaps, being in a home that doesn't have a lot of natural light could be a hindrance to you. So there's something in your environment that is the reason for this blockage with regards to your confidence, and there's something that's kind of holding you back. So you're doing most of it. You're sabotaging yourself for the most part. However, for For some of my group ones, it actually is the environment that they live in that is making them feel this way. Sometimes you could be living in a messy environment, and that could be making your mind feel cluttered, so you can't express your ideas or your visions clearly enough. Let's see. So your environment plays a huge part as well in how you're feeling about sharing your gift with your audience that is awaiting you. Some of you as well, group one, can actually, once you do let down these walls and present yourself, a piece of yourself, a piece of your true self, once you do that, the audience will come and you will lead them. You will let them know, this is how I draw, this is how I sing, this is how I play music, this is how I dance, and they will eat it up. For some of my group ones, you may become so proficient at expressing yourself in that way that you end up getting a career teaching that thing. So you may end up, you know what came to my the first thing that came to my mind was Bob Ross. I'm thinking of Bob Ross, the painter, who was an amazing painter, and he not only put his artwork on display, but then he was so good at it. Basically know Bob Ross through his painting show on TV, teaching people how to paint trees and these beautiful landscapes in a very simple and comprehensible way. So I think some of you will be doing that as well. So not only will it be lucrative for you to put your artwork out there, because let's say, for example, if you're a dancer, you can be hired on by a dance studio and dance in front of an audience, but later on you can also parlay that into a job as a dance teacher. So they're trying to explain to you that once you let down those walls and once you stop questioning yourself and questioning whether or not what you're doing is good enough, and if you have an audience and how you will be received, if you will be judged, once you let go and release the negative way of thinking and you actually just allow yourself to be free and to share yourself and express yourself genuinely to the world, the doors will open for you and you will receive such abundance from it. And abundance in the sense of not just money, but that is part of it, but opportunities. Not only opportunities, but happiness. Not only happiness, but self-fulfillment and different levels of confidence and self-love in ways that you never could have imagined possible. You will also attract certain type of person around you who sees you, like literally sees you for who you are, not who you present as or not who you want people to see you as. And they love you for who you are, and they acknowledge your uniqueness on this planet and your purpose, and your right to be here and to take up space. You will also inspire others as well to do the same and to share their voice, to live their truth. It will be a beautiful thing. So the universe are asking you to stop thinking small, or stop playing small, or stop trying to fit into a box of mediocrity. You are not mediocre. There is nothing about my group ones that is mediocre. You are extraordinary. You are exceptional. You are a star and you have star potential. So the energies are asking you to accept that, to acknowledge that, and to embrace that. Not only that, but to embody that and then to share it with the world, because it would be selfish not to. It would totally be selfish not to. You have to share yourself with the world because you have something to say. From that release, so many opportunities will come, so many possibilities, so many just wonderful experiences will come that you could have never imagined, just from you being real with yourself and allowing yourself to be real with everyone else. So group number one, I think that was your reading. I don't want to go too far into it because I could literally talk about this for hours, because I think we all do this to ourselves. We all try and make ourselves smaller than what we really are because we don't want to be judged, because we're worried about what other people are going to think, or we worry about like if we are actually good enough, and that needs to stop. So group number one, I hope something I said resonated with you today. We need you. We want to see you. Share yourself with us. Don't be selfish. And you will see when you set the intention to put yourself out there, the audience will come. All right. So group number 1, that was your reading. I hope something I said resonated with you today. Thank you for tuning in. Until we see each other again, guys. Bye. Okay, my pile number 2s. Today we're going to be discussing exactly what is blocking you from achieving the type of life that you want. Okay, so we're going to look at the tarot cards first. We have the Strength card with the affirmation of courage in reverse. We have the Fool card with the affirmation of new beginning in reverse. We have the Moon card with the affirmation of illusion in reverse. All right, group 2. So we've got some blockages going on here. I think some of my group 2s are dealing with pretty heavy situations with regards to things like trauma, abuse, or some of you may have recently gone through pretty heavy situations that have left your world turned upside down, perhaps in chaos. I think some of my group 2s are used to living in that kind of environment. You may have been raised in a pretty chaotic household. Some of you may feel as if, you can't trust people. You may have been hurt very often by those around you. And I feel like a lot of my group 2s live in a state of fight or flight. You're never exactly relaxed. You're never at ease. Perhaps you're haunted by things that have happened in your past. Maybe you're wrestling with experiences that you've had. You're replaying them over and over in your head. Perhaps some of you in group 2 feel like you are doomed to a certain reality. You are bound to a certain reality. It's not even necessarily a physical thing in a physical way. It's mostly inside, and it's kind of manifesting into your outer world. Group number 2, because a lot of you have been in this state of fear and like frozen fear, where it's like you can't move. And that's not a physical thing where you can't move. It's more of an emotional thing where it's like you can't progress. You can't move forward. You're just stuck in this space between your old life that haunts you and the new life that seems very, very far away. You have desires to do so many things, and you are capable, you are strong, but you're being held back and haunted by perhaps the way you were raised, perhaps by the way the people around you live. It could be by your religious beliefs, but there's some kind of a set of beliefs or a way of living that is kind of holding you in this place, holding you in limbo and not allowing you to move forward. It feels like everything is just on standby. You're a strong person. You've displayed your strength before to get through some of the things you've had to through in life. You've had to be very strong. So you're well aware of your courage, but you just are in this state where you don't know what steps to take next. I think some of you as well are also believing in the illusion, the idea that no, girls like you can't achieve that dream. That's too big for you. No. People in our town, they don't leave. They just stay here for their whole life. You're not smart enough to achieve that. You don't have enough money to achieve that. You're too poor. There's so much going on in your mind right now. And also thinking of all the hurt. What if I get hurt again? What if I get judged? What if someone knows about my past? What if there's so many what ifs that are going on in my group 2's minds that it is definitely holding you back, and you are believing the lies about what it is you can and cannot achieve in your life. And that is what's holding you back. Okay, so let's get to the oracle cards and maybe we can see what you can do to kind of dissolve these blockages. All right. When I look at, so first of all, we have the over your shoulder card, which is 10. We have the time to fly card, which is the 44. We have the miracles card. I'm not going to say the name of the goddesses because I don't always know how to pronounce them and I don't want to butcher them. So you have the miracles card, which is a 42. You have the divine lineage card, which is a 6. And you have the radical rebirth card, which is a 5. All right. So Group number 2, these oracle cards, when I see this card here, like over your shoulder and time to fly, we see cards like miracles, and we see this card here that speaks of divine lineage. All of these cards are kind of piggybacking off of the message that I was getting from the tarot cards. You are being held back. I feel like some of my group 2s are generational curse breakers. So if everybody in your family did this thing, that stops with you and you will do something else. For example, if everybody in your family suffered from alcoholism, you are going to be the one who is not a drinker. If everybody in your family suffered from obesity, you are going to be the one who stops that. You are going to be the one who takes their health a little more seriously. So you are going to be the one who steps into their power and does not become a victim of their situation, or does not become a victim of their environment. So the energies are letting you know that you are going to get to a point where you are going to feel fed up. You are going to feel fed up. You are going to get to a point almost of rock bottom where you feel like this is just not good enough for me. Everything is just going to feel too small for you. It's going to be like it doesn't fit you anymore. Your town doesn't fit you anymore. These ideas don't fit you anymore. The habits and the ways of living passed down to you from your grandparents and your parents, it doesn't fit you anymore. Eventually, something is going to come to you, group 2. It's going to present as somewhat of a miracle. It's not going to necessarily be a huge thing, but it's going to feel like a miracle to you. One day the light bulb is just going to go off and you are going to understand and realize that you are capable of achieving everything you want in life. You will understand that your past or your situation, your circumstance does not have to dictate who you are for the rest of your life. It will literally just turn on like a switch, and eventually you will have the courage, you will have the strength to let go of those old ways of thinking and doing things and no longer allow them to hold you hostage, and you will make a move. For some of you, it'll be a radical move, a huge movement where you'll just grab your stuff and move to another country. I mean, that's a very specific message, but because I see the radical rebirth card here and it's in reverse, I could see for the majority of you, it's going to be a process. The light bulb is going to go on. Absolutely. You will have your aha moment. But from that aha moment to you living the life that you want to live, it will be a process. And once that light bulb goes on, it will feel like this card here that says it's your time to fly. You will feel like your feet have wings on them because you will be able to soar. You will have the courage out of nowhere to go to a gym and work out, even though it's extremely intimidating to just walk into a gym and, for your first time. You will have the courage to take the class that you've been putting off because you were feeling too scared to do it. You will have the courage to let go of the relationship that's been holding you hostage, that you've been holding on to because you have a history with this person and you've been with them for a long time, or perhaps your parents like this person but they're no good for you. You will have the courage to let go of these stagnant ideas and ways of living that are only holding you back and are essentially hurting you. So when you look over your shoulder, as the card here says, look over your shoulder, when you finally start to make a move and you finally start to see progress, that aha moment is going to feel like a miracle to you. Because without that small aha moment, you would have not gotten the courage or had the clarity of mind to see that this is not good enough for me anymore. So what I get, the main message I get from my group 2s is that you need to stand up to release the blockages in your life. You need to stand up and say no. Saying nothing is also saying something. So if something is happening in your life that you don't agree with and you say nothing, you are actually saying that you agree with that way of life. You need to stand up and say, this is not good enough for me anymore. I need to change the way this is going. And that is what is going to immediately dissolve the blockages. It may feel extremely uncomfortable at first, because everybody's gonna look at you like, what are you talking about? This is the way we've always done this thing. Or even you will look at yourself and say, why are you saying that? Like, this is the way we do things. Why are you thinking these things? What's wrong with you? Have you gone insane? This is not what we do, that type of thing. You are gonna have to have the courage to welcome in new beginnings into your life. And for new beginnings to occur, you have to have a few endings occur as well. And that is a very scary and daunting thing. But group twos, the energies are asking you to do that because it is very important, because you saying no goes hand in hand with you living the type of life that you've always wanted to live. The fear, the trepidation, the feeling of being frozen or hanging in limbo, not being able to move, just kind of staying in this dark place or this stagnant place, that's only gonna dissipate as soon as you stand up and say that it's not good enough for you anymore. You need to stand up and trust that your voice matters, and that you have a voice and you have a choice, and free will is a thing, and you don't need to live according to other people's definitions of what life should be. So group number 2, I don't want to go into this too long because I can speak about this forever as well. Same thing happened with group 1. Stand up and speak your mind. Stand up and be counted. Make sure that people see you. Say no, and that will definitely help to open up new avenues, new opportunities, and a new way of life for you, group 2. You will gain a whole new level of self-respect and self-love when you look back and see the courage and the strength that it took for you to say that this is not good enough for you anymore. So group number 2, that was your reading. I hope something I said today resonated with you, and I want to thank you so much for tuning in with me. Until we see each other again, guys. Bye. Pile number 3, this reading is for you if you're interested in knowing what is blocking you from living the life that you desire. Okay, I can see it already. I can see it already. Okay, my group 3s, my dear sweet group 3s. I feel like my group 3s are my overextenders. My group 3s may suffer from being people pleasers. You may even have a hard time setting firm boundaries in your lives. I really see pile number 3 for those who are in relationships, those who are parents, working parents. I see a lot of mothers in my pile 3. I mean, this is for everybody, so I'm not alienating, but that's what really stands out right now. So I'm talking to my people pleasers. I'm talking about those who don't put up strong enough boundaries. I'm speaking to those who want to be liked. I'm speaking to those of you who have issues with confrontation and saying no. The tarot cards, I didn't even tell you what tarot cards we have yet because I just jumped right into it, but we have the Empress card, we have the Four of Swords, and we have the Lover's card in reverse. So the energies are telling you, shouting at you, that you need to, number 1, I don't want to say it in such a mean way, but like the way the cards are set up, it's like, give it a rest. Give it a rest. You need to get to the point where you don't give two craps about how other people feel. I'm not saying you have to be a raging lunatic and make people feel, hurt people's feelings and throw your family into chaos because you're deciding to, put up boundaries and have people make people respect your boundaries. But I'm saying you have to get to the point where you realize that if everybody likes you, then you're doing something wrong. That means you're not showing your true self to these people, because I don't care who you are, not everyone is going to like you in this life, and that's exactly the way it should be, because we all have conflicting ideas and thoughts and behaviors that can trigger other people, and then we all have ideas and behaviors and thoughts that other people like. So if you're trying to live your life to please others so that they're happy with you, you're never going to be happy with yourself, and you're always going to feel burnt out. You're always going to feel empty inside. I feel like my group 3s need to take a rest. I feel like you are overextending yourself. I think sometimes for my group 3, it could be that acts of service could be your love language, for example. And I feel like that is your love language. And so that is what you're extending to other people in hopes that they will reciprocate and extend those acts of certain acts of service back to you, but it never is the same amount as what you're giving. It's always less, and sometimes it's not none at all. You, group 3, are the friends that everybody calls when they need something, when they need a shoulder to cry on, when they need to get something done, even if they need money. You are that friend. And even though that's a wonderful person to be and wonderful position to hold, it can be extremely tiring, it can be extremely depleting, and it can leave you feeling very empty. And as we all know, you cannot pour from an empty vessel. So my group number 3s, please, we understand that you have a very nurturing aspect to who you are. You like to see people happy. You like to be the reason that people are happy, but it's not gonna keep working for you. It's not gonna keep working in your favor if you continue to overextend yourself the way you do. Okay, so we're gonna look at the oracle cards now. We have the Dove card that says spread messages of peace and harmony. We have the Eagle card, which says seize opportunities courageously. We have the Dog card that says be disciplined in your home and community life. We have the Superhero card, which is 31. We also have this card here that says Psst, hey you. So this is pretty much what I saw in the tarot cards. I feel like group 3s, you are extremely kind, loving, supportive people. You are somebody who makes people feel safe. You make people feel loved, but you do it to such an extent that sometimes your feelings of self-love dwindle, or, you're trying to make everybody else comfortable at the expense of your comfort. It's like you're trying to ease everybody else's heart, yet your heart can be, troubled or broken or hurting. And that's not what we want for you, group 3. We want you to get to a point where it's like you can still do those things. You can still be a good person. You can still extend yourself to your friends and your loved ones and even help strangers. But we kind of want you to put yourself first. You have to put yourself first and make sure you are okay so that you can help others. It's kind of like when you're in a plane and it's in an emergency and the gas masks or the oxygen masks come down. You have to put your oxygen mask on first before you put on the oxygen mask of your child, because you have to make sure that you're okay to be able to help others. If you are unconscious, you can't help that child on the plane. And it's just the same as in your life. If you are running on fumes, if you have nothing left to give because you are completely depleted, how are you going to help those around you who you love and who love you? The Dove card, where it says spread messages of peace and harmony, this is exactly who I think you are, group 3. I think you are peace loving. I think you are kind. And like I said before, you are definitely the friend that people come to when they need, a shoulder to cry on, when they need to vent, when they need an opinion, or even if they just need help. It seems you always know what to do. You always have the resources. You just know. Like, you'll be the one who will research the answer to the question that they're asking. So you do the work. They could actually do it too, but sometimes they come to you because they know you'll do it, and that's who you are. And that's a beautiful thing, but people also would take advantage of that. And we know that 100%. That's the nature of the beast sometimes. That's why good-natured people and kind-hearted people always get taken advantage of, because they're those opportunists who will see it and say, okay, here I come. I'm going to drain this person of everything they have because I know they will give it to me. So we also have the Eagle card here, which says seize opportunities courageous. And that goes hand in hand with the Dog card that says be disciplined in your home and community life. So as hard as it's going to be to set firm boundaries and to learn to use the word no, group 3, this is something that you should practice and become acquainted with. Start small and work your way up. Perhaps if you're a mother and you have a family and you are the one who keeps everything running like a well-oiled machine, and everybody says, Mom, can you do this? Mom, can you do this? Mom, can I have that? And your husband or spouse comes to you and says, honey, can you do this? Honey, can you do that? And you equate being able to get those things done with being a loving mom and wife. Well, the energies are asking you to not do that. The energies are asking you to show everybody that you can only love them if first you love yourself. You can only do for them if first you do for yourself. they have to understand that you matter and that you know that you matter. So even though it's difficult to, stand up and say no to certain things and say, no, I'm not going to do that. Like I need to relax. I need to rest. Some people will be totally thrown off by that. They'll be like, what? What is this person talking about? They always do this when I ask them to do it. They always put out my clothes for work the next day. They always wash my laundry for me. They always get my karate outfit ready for me, or my lunch, or my whatever else. Why are they not doing it anymore? Now this is when you, group 3, have to stand up and say, okay, well, yes, I did do that for you before, but now I understand that that is not working for me. It's working for you, but it's not working for me. That's going to be a hard discussion that you're going to have with other people, not only for them to hear. It's not going to be only hard for them to hear, but it's going to be hard for you to express, because it will come off as confrontational. Some people will feel attacked by you standing up and saying, no, this is not working for me anymore. And you will also feel like you've disappointed them, but they're asking you to do it anyway. Do anyway. That is what courage is, right? Courage is not being fearless. Courage is actually being fearful, but proceeding on anyway, like going ahead with the thing, doing the damn thing, regardless of your fear. So you are going to have to stand up and make people understand that although that was who you used to be, you used to overextend yourself, you used to let them kind of invade your space, it's not going to happen anymore, because it's just not working for you, and you now recognize that you deserve better. I feel like here as well, as I look at the superhero card, I see that that's exactly who you were aspiring to be. When you looked in the mirror, was this superhero, this person who can get everything done and keep everything running smoothly. It was your job to comfort your friends. It was your job to be the glue that keeps your family together and solve all the problems. It was your job to be the likable one, the easygoing one, and that is not good enough for you. In 2025, we're not doing that anymore, because you always seem to be on the losing end of the spectrum, because you go to sleep and you're tired, or sometimes you feel upset or regretful of the fact that people walk all over you and they say things to you without any regard for your feeling, because they feel like, oh, she'll be okay. She's strong. She'll be all right. Sometimes they don't take you seriously because you've never you've never forced them to take you seriously, because you've always been extending yourself and never making people aware of the fact that you need to be taken seriously. You need to be taken care of as well. And that's not selfish. That's selfless. That's you saying, I am deserving. And it's also you creating a healthier dynamic between you and your loved ones. So yes, the card here that says, "Psst, hey you," is very hilarious to me, because it makes me feel like, group 3, some of you don't even realize that that's you. Some of you don't even realize that you suffer from this kind of superhero complex. And it may have worked up until now, but it's not going to work for you much longer. This reading, group number 3, is not only asking, but it's pleading. It is actually singling you out. It is calling you out. These cards are calling you out, saying to you, this is not good enough for you anymore. And you can pretend that it's working. And you can pretend that you like being that person who overextends themselves for the sake and for the good and for the comfort of everybody else. But it's not going to work forever. And very soon, you will have that moment where you will hit rock bottom and an explosion will occur. And that's not what we want. We don't want that type of situation. So before it gets to that, just start working on standing up for yourself and making people see you for who you really are, and making people around you understand that you matter, and you are going to be setting stronger boundaries, and you are also going to be putting yourself first, taking care of yourself, going to the spa, going to the gym, getting your nails done, or just resting. You deserve rest, and that is the best thing you can do for yourself. And your relationships will be a lot healthier. They'll feel a lot more balanced. So do yourself the favor, group 3, and start standing up for yourself. All right? Take off the superhero cape and be human just like the rest of us, a mere mortal. Even though you can do it, it doesn't mean you should. All right, group number 3. So that was the reading for you. I hope something I said today resonated with you. Thank you so much for tuning in with me. Until we see each other again, guys. Bye.